Los Angeles, a city where movie stars drive past tents on their way to the red carpet. A city of million-dollar homes and sidewalks turned into neighborhoods. Just 15 minutes from Hollywood Boulevard lies a different kind of fame. Here, people know your name not because you're in a movie, but because you built the best shower out of rainwater barrels. Welcome to Skid Row, a city within a city, where the rent is zero, but the cost of survival is everything. You'll meet opera singers who sleep in tents, inventors who run businesses from shopping carts, and ex-Hollywood stuntmen who still rehearse fight scenes on the sidewalk. It's loud, chaotic, and sometimes heartbreaking, but it's also creative, stubborn, and full of unwritten legends. Some come here after life chewed them up. Why would anyone choose to be homeless in Los Angeles? That's the question you need to hear answered from the people who call this place home. Skid Row isn't on any tourist brochure, but it's impossible to miss. It stretches over 50 city blocks, right in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. By day, the sun hits rows of tents and tarps like a spotlight on a strange stage. By night, the glow from luxury high-rises spills into streets lined with shopping carts and folding chairs. The air smells of grilled hot dogs, incense, and diesel from portable generators. You hear cumbia from one corner, jazz from another, and someone preaching through a megaphone in between. There's a rhythm here, unpredictable, but alive. Outsiders see chaos. Residents see a neighborhood. There's a block for cooking, where propane stoves hiss and big pots of stew bubble away. Another block for repairs, bikes get fixed, radios come back to life, zippers are sewn back on jackets. And there's the art row, painted walls, sculpture made from scrap, poetry taped to lampposts. Police cars pass slowly, their lights flashing, but rarely stop unless called. Here, the city's laws blend with the street's own rules. And those street rules? They can be stricter than you think. Skid Row wasn't born overnight. Its roots go back more than a century. In the late 1800s, this part of Los Angeles was a stop for railroad workers, drifters, and laborers looking for short-term jobs. Cheap hotels and boarding houses lined the streets. Some stayed for a night. Others never left. Then came the Great Depression of the 1930s. Thousands poured into Los Angeles, chasing the promise of jobs in the West. Many found only empty pockets and crowded shelters. Over the decades, veterans from World War II, the Vietnam War, and later conflicts joined the ranks of the street. By the 1970s, city officials tried a new idea: concentrate homeless services in one district. They chose Skid Row. Hodachon Skid Row. The idea was to help. The result was a city within a city. And with it came legends. One story tells of a jazz pianist who came to LA in the 1960s, played with big bands, then lost everything to addiction. He now plays on a battered keyboard under a blue tarp, drawing crowds every weekend. Another tale speaks of an ex-Hollywood stuntman who still practices fight scenes on the sidewalk. He says it keeps him sharp, just in case Hollywood calls again. These aren't just myths. They're pieces of the street's living memory. Today, Skid Row is both a neighborhood and a survival experiment. Streets become living rooms, kitchens, and storefronts. On one block, a man sells homemade burritos from a folding table. Across the street, a woman offers haircuts with a pair of scissors and a mirror taped to a fence. There's a tent electrician who wires up lights and phone chargers for his neighbors. Some residents run street cafes with coffee brewed over camp stoves. Payment isn't always in cash, sometimes it's in socks, cigarettes, or half a sandwich. On Saturdays, you might see an impromptu flea market, bikes, old radios, secondhand jackets. Creativity here isn't optional, it's the only way to live. Some tents have flower pots, doormats, even curtains. One man built a 2-story shack from pallets and scrap wood, complete with a rooftop hammock. Kids from nearby shelters draw murals on the walls to make it feel like a home. But life here isn't romantic. Crime, addiction, and mental illness are constant battles. Still, in the middle of it all, there's an unshakable sense of community. People watch each other's backs. And in a city that often ignores them, here, they matter to someone. Over the years, Skid Row has developed its own culture, part necessity, part rebellion. There are annual block parties with live bands powered by car batteries. Local artists display paintings made from cardboard, metal scraps, and broken mirrors. There's a street fashion scene, bold outfits stitched from donated clothes, worn like runway pieces. Poetry nights happen under the glow of street lamps. Anyone can step up, grab the mic, and spill their story raw, unfiltered, and unforgettable. There's also an unwritten honor code: respect your neighbor's space, share when you can, and never touch another person's cart. Break that rule, and word will spread faster than the LAPD can drive down the block. Some stories have become urban legends. Like the Midnight Chef, a man who cooks massive pots of stew at 2 a.m. and feeds the whole block. Or the Tent Librarian, a woman with a milk crate full of paperbacks, lending books with no due date. Tourists sometimes wander in, curious, camera in hand. Some are chased away. Others are invited to sit, eat, and listen. For all its rough edges, Skid Row has a pull, a raw authenticity you won't find on Hollywood Boulevard. Los Angeles is a city built on dreams, and a city that breaks them. Skid Row is the shadow cast by Hollywood's spotlight. Here, the rent is free, but nothing else is. It's a place where hardship breeds creativity, and where community can form without an address. For some, it's the last stop before rock bottom. For others, it's proof they can survive on their own terms. Skid Row will never be on a postcard, but it will always be part of the real Los Angeles. So next time you picture this city, remember, it's not just stars on a screen. Sometimes, the most unforgettable characters live under canvas, not under chandeliers. And maybe, just maybe, home isn't always about walls, it's about the people inside.